Hi, Mrs. Palumbo. As you know, my name is Scott Warwick.
Yes, sir.
And we've met before in a deposition in this case. Is that correct?
We have.
In some of these phone calls that we heard, I heard things like, he showed me the DNA report, something along those lines, things like that. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Was that he? Would that be Dennis Haley or Ralph Garrett, or do you know?
I do not know.
Okay. It was somebody involved in the investigation?
Yes, it would have been.
And when we hear Missy, they're talking about Melissa Sully. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And in the calls we heard today, I believe you heard 6 calls. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Do you recall how many calls that you guys listened to when y'all were doing the wiretaps?
Thousands.
Yeah. I know that I saw a number, the number at least 3757. Does that sound fair?
I couldn't tell you an answer.
But it was thousands. Yeah. Over lots of days, lots of hours. Is that right?
That is correct.
Would it be fair to say that you guys at the FDLE and Ralph Garrett, I believe, who was also part of the investigation for the last couple of years at the Crestview Police Department, would it be fair to say y'all were being pretty aggressive?
We were just conducting a homicide investigation.
But while these wiretaps were going on, you guys were going around and talking to Michael Holbrook and other people around Russell and Michael. Is that correct?
We were to elicit a response.
Right. That's where I'm going with this. You were intentionally putting out information to get people to talk in circles so that you could elicit information on the wiretap calls. Is that correct?
We would conduct interviews to elicit phone calls.
Right. I want to talk about a couple of people that are, I think, close to Melissa Howard. Do you know Bobby Davis?
I did.
Isn't that Brian Howard's sister?
It is.
And that was Melissa Howard's former sister-in-law?
Would have been.
Okay. I've seen some, let me ask you this. From about September to June 2017, isn't it true that you had lunch with Bobby Davis maybe 5 or 6 times?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know about 5 or 6, but we would
Okay.
have lunch.
But there has been a number of times where you and her were going out to lunch,
Her and
is
I
that
would
correct?
have lunch, yes.
What about after the data that I have from June 2017? Did you go and have lunch with her after that time period?
I do not know. I haven't had lunch with her in several years, so.
Okay. In fact, sometime between that September 2015 and the June 2017, Bobby Davis's daughter was in an accident, and you and Dennis Haley visited with them at the hospital. Isn't that correct?
I did go to check on her daughter at the hospital, yes.
Yeah. Okay. I want to talk about someone else that's, I believe, close to Melissa Howard. She has a sister named Ann White, correct?
Annie White, yes.
Okay, Annie White. And can you tell us where Annie White works?
She works for the Florida Department of Law Enforcement out of our headquarters in Tallahassee.
Okay, and what is her position?
She's an assistant special agent in charge over the Office of Statewide Intelligence.
So you have headquarters, and there's a special agent in charge at headquarters, correct?
There is.
Okay, and who is that?
The head, Shane Desguin.
Okay.
Jack
And-
Desguin.
Right, and just below Mr. Desmond.
Desguin, yes.
I'm sorry?
Desguin.
Deswin, okay. And I guess it would be just below Special Agent in Charge Deswin. That would be where Annie White fits in, correct?
That is correct.
And maybe there are 1 or 2 other people laterally even with her?
No, there are not.
Okay, so she's the number 2 person by herself?
For the Office of Statewide Intelligence,
Right,
yes.
okay. Are there other people that are Assistant Special Agent in Charge that are on the organizational chart, even with her, that are over other organizations there?
Yes, there are.
Do you know how many?
No, I do
Okay.
not.
But I guess where I'm getting at, she's tied for the number 2 position out of headquarters, correct?
Not out of headquarters, out of the Office of Statewide Intelligence.
Okay, okay. I see. It's my understanding that you were in the lab with Jennifer Hattler.
Judge, may we approach?
Yes. Very well. Based on his questions, anything further?
One question, Judge. Ms. Palumbo, you testified that the victim's sister is Annie White at FDLE. Did Miss White have any access to this case at all?
She did not. It was restricted.
Thank you. No further questions of her, Judge.
You may step down, however, you're subject to being recalled
Yes, sir.
later in the case. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Drake.
Judge, at this time, through stipulation of the parties, I have a few exhibits I would like to move into evidence.
Announce those if you would, please.
I will, Your Honor.
And then counsel will make sure that's what you had understood to be agreed to. Fair?
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead.
State's Exhibit 41 are cell phone records belonging to Daniel Bretthauer, Bretthauer. State's Exhibit 44, these are the singular cell phone records for Carrie Winkler. State's 45, Verizon cell phone records for Christopher Cadenhead. State's 46, Nextel cell phone records for David Russell Holbrook. State's 47, Nextel cell phone records for Michael Holbrook. State's 48, Nextel cell phone records for Gina, Jeanna, Good. State's 49, Nextel cell phone records for Melissa Sulle, Sulle. State's Exhibit 50, Sprint/Nextel cell phone records for Brian Howard. State's 51, Nextel cell phone records for Corrina, Correna, Schultz, Shiltz. State's Exhibit 52, Nextel cell phone records for Tyler Schultz. State's Exhibit 53, singular cell phone records for Jared Jones. And State's Exhibit 54, Nextel cell phone records for Allison Holbrook. At this time, I move those exhibits into evidence.
Of course. Stipulated to or not?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, sir.
We're just confirming
We're stipulating.
that. Fine. Go right ahead. Now in evidence pursuant to the stipulation of the parties. Next witness, Mr. Drake.
Sir, this time the state rests.
Very well. That being the case, there's some matters we're going to take up outside of your presence, so we'll be in recess until that time. Because it may take some time, feel free to step out of the jury room, walk around, stretch your legs. It may be up to a half hour. All right? All right, everyone be seated. Thank you very much. The state having rested, Mr. Jarvis.
Judge, at this juncture, we would move for a judgment of acquittal. I don't have a lot of arguments, but we'll put it for the record that we're going to move for that. I would state that they haven't had any testimony that the death was caused by the criminal. One of the three elements that they had to prove.
Very well, thank you. It's based on, I think, your argument, to, for my understanding to be correct, is based on the sufficiency of the evidence and lack thereof as applied to the elements the state must prove?
That's correct.
Thank you very much. Mr. Drake?
As the court is well aware, at this point of the proceedings, you must take the evidence in the light most favorable to the state. Taking that into account, I do believe the state has established a prima facie case of guilt, therefore the case should be given to the jury.
Court finds that a prima facie case has been established and therefore would respectfully deny the motion for judgment of acquittal. From the standpoint of presentation given, I think it's fair that it's hard to discern exactly when the state would rest, when they would not rest, and that's completely fair. From your standpoint, sir, it's 3:45. You didn't know the state would be completed at this time, nor did me neither. Thoughts?
Judge, at this time, I ask that we recess for the day.
No problem with that. I just wanted you to tell me if you had a witness, you're right outside, ready to go, that would be fine. I see no reason not to break until the morning under the circumstances. Thoughts?
That's totally fine, Judge.
All right, well, we've told the jury. Let's see where they are. Check.
Well, Judge, 3 of them are on their way outside. 11, I guess.
That'll be fine. When they get back, we'll get them in here as quickly as we can. But I think that's the right
Yes,
way
sir.
to go about it. I think it's the fair approach to let you start a new day
Yes,
with your
sir.
presentation as you deem appropriate. Fair?
Yes, sir.
I think it is too. We'll be back in here.
I'll let you know as soon
All right, that's how we'll proceed then. We'll be in recess until that time.
Yes, sir.
Hey, we're on the way right now? Okay, I'm told that it may be that one of our security officers has gotten them headed back in this direction, so let's just wait and see if that's in fact the case, all right?
Yes, sir.
Get this away from me right now. They're all back?
Are you ready as soon as they return?
Yeah. Our jurors are back in the jury room. We're going to bring them in at this time and apprise them of our plea, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Miss Reese, take your seats, but don't get too comfortable. Everyone have a seat. 30 minutes goes by fast sometimes. No, what happened was this. When you stepped out, there were some matters that we thought would have to take a great deal of time, and many times they do, for us to take up, but they were handled very efficiently. The attorneys have done a fine job in order for us to be able to do that. You have heard all of the evidence that you're going to hear in the state's case in chief. Okay. When Mr. Drake stood up and announced the state had rested, that means that they have put on their case. And so we're back now on the defense, if they wish, has an opportunity to put on a case. And I think, Mr. Jarvis, you've indicated that's what you wish to do, sir.
Most definitely, sir.
Very well. Because trials are fluid animals, as you can tell, and although we try to move in an orderly manner, it's hard to discern exactly when we're going to be taking witnesses, how long they're going to take. Mr. Jarvis would have had no way of knowing that at this point in time the state would have rested. It would be totally unfair for me to hold him to that. We would never do so. We're going to break for the day. It's 10 to 4. Because of that, and it's the fairest way to proceed for all concerned, and I know that you understand that. So we're going to be recessing for the day. We'll be in recess till 9 a.m. in the morning, which means don't talk about the case with anyone, nor let anyone talk to you about it. I will tell you that the media is here and is covering the case, and it might be that the media will have covered the case in a manner that it might be in the newspaper, might be on TV. Just don't watch it, okay? I trust that will not be a problem. Anything further, counsel, that we can take up?
No, sir.
Very well. And so, safe travels home this evening, and we'll see you all in the morning. Just wait a second. Do we anticipate anything that we could take up at this time? If you think of something, I'll be here early and we'll take it up in the morning if necessary. Anything?
Nothing at this time.
Stay. All right, we will be in recess until 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. Thank you.